The yellow taxi in the shadows of New York. The first 2 minutes were utterly predictable, like thousands of other taxi rides in New York. Anna stepped out of her Manhattan office at 6 in the evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyscrapers, bathing the streets in a golden glow. She raised her hand, and a yellow cab, one of those classic ones with cracked plastic seats and the faint smell of coffee and cigarettes, pulled up to the curb. The driver, an older man with a thick beard and an accent hinting at distant lands of the Middle East, grumbled. Where to? Anna gave her address, a modest apartment in Brooklyn. Across the bridge. She settled into the back seat, fastened her seatbelt, and pulled out her phone, expecting the usual ride, traffic, honking, maybe some small talk about the weather. But this ride was about to become anything but ordinary. The cab merged into the chaotic flow of Manhattan traffic, the driver muttering under his breath about a construction delay on Fifth Avenue. Anna barely noticed, scrolling through her emails, her mind still tangled in the day's meetings. Then, at the 2-minute mark, something shifted. The radio, which had been crackling with a staticky talk show, went silent. Not the kind of silence where the signal drops, but an eerie, absolute void, like the air itself had thickened. The driver glanced at the dashboard, frowning, and tapped the radio. Nothing. Anna looked up, mildly curious, but before she could think much of it, the cab's interior lights flickered, not just once, but in a strange, rhythmic pulse, like Morse code. You see that? The driver asked, his voice suddenly sharp. Anna nodded, her pulse quickening. The city outside the windows seemed off. The usual blur of neon signs, pedestrians, and honking cars had slowed, as if time itself had hit a snag. The traffic lights were frozen on red, yet no one seemed to notice. Pedestrians moved in slow motion, their faces oddly blank, like mannequins caught mid-step. What's going on? Anna asked, leaning forward. The driver didn't answer. Instead, he reached under his seat and pulled out a small, metallic object, about the size of a cigarette lighter but engraved with intricate, swirling patterns that seemed to glow faintly. He pressed it, and the cab's doors locked with a heavy thunk. Anna's heart skipped a beat. Hey, what are you? Quiet, he said, his voice low but firm. You're not supposed to see this, but it's too late now. Before Anna could protest, the cab lurched, not forward, but upward. The sensation was unmistakable, like an elevator shooting up a skyscraper. Her stomach dropped as the city outside the windows blurred into streaks of light. She gripped the seat, her phone slipping from her hand. What the hell is happening? She shouted. The driver didn't turn around. You ever wonder why New York never sleeps? He said, his voice calm, almost philosophical. It's not just the people, it's the city itself. It's alive, and we're its keepers. Anna's mind raced. Was this some kind of prank, a hallucination? She pinched herself hard, but the surreal ascent continued. The windows now showed not the familiar skyline but a kaleidoscope of colors, blues, purples, and golds swirling like a cosmic storm. The cab wasn't just driving, it was moving through something else. The driver finally turned to her, his dark eyes glinting with a strange intensity. My name's Reza, he said, and this taxi isn't what you think it is. You're in the Vale now. The Vale? Anna echoed, her voice trembling. Reza nodded. The space between what you see and what's really there. New York's got layers, kid. Most people live in the top one, the one with coffee shops and traffic jams. But beneath it, there's another city, one that's older, hungrier, and it needs people like me to keep it in check. Anna's head spun. This was insane. She was a marketing analyst, not some sci-fi protagonist. But the evidence was undeniable. The cab was no longer on solid ground, and the world outside was a shimmering void. Why me? She demanded. I just wanted to go home. Reza chuckled. A dry, humorless sound. You think you flagged me down by accident? The city chooses. Anna. It always does. She froze. How do you know my name? He tapped the metallic device, now glowing brighter. This isn't just a cab, it's a conduit. It reads you, knows you, and it brought you to me because you're different. You've felt it, haven't you? The way the city seems to watch you sometimes. Anna wanted to deny it, but she couldn't. She'd always felt something strange in New York, an undercurrent. Like the city had a pulse of its own. Late at night, walking alone, she'd sometimes hear whispers in the subway tunnels or see shadows move in ways that defied logic. She'd chalked it up to exhaustion. But now, what do you want from me? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Reza didn't answer right away. The cab slowed, and the windows cleared, revealing a version of New York unlike any Anna had ever seen. The skyscrapers were there, but they glowed with an otherworldly light, their edges soft and fluid, like they were made of liquid glass. The streets below pulsed with veins of energy, and strange, shadowy figures moved through them, not human, but something else, their forms shifting like smoke. This, Reza said, gesturing to the surreal cityscape, is the underside, the heart of New York. It's where the city's dreams and nightmares live, and it's falling apart. Anna stared, her fear giving way to awe. Falling apart? How? There's a balance. Reza explained. The city thrives because we, drivers like me, keep the underside stable. We ferry the energy, the stories, the souls that keep it alive. But something's gone wrong. The veil is thinning, and things that shouldn't be here are slipping through. He pointed to a dark spot in the distance, a swirling vortex of shadow that seemed to devour the light around it. That's a breach. If it grows, it'll tear the city apart, both worlds. And you, Anna, are one of the few who can help stop it. Me? She laughed, half hysterical. I'm nobody. I crunch numbers for a living. You're not nobody, Reza said sharply. The city doesn't choose randomly. You've got something it needs, a spark, a connection. I don't know what it is yet, but we're about to find out. The cab descended toward the vortex, and Anna's stomach churned. Wait, we're going there. No choice, Reza said. You're in now, hold on. The cab plunged into the vortex, and everything went black. For a moment, Anna thought she'd passed out, but then she felt it, a presence, vast and ancient, pressing against her mind. It wasn't just the city, it was alive, whispering to her in a language she couldn't understand but somehow felt. Images flashed through her head, a New York from centuries ago, with cobblestone streets and gas lamps, a future city of floating spires and endless stars, and something darker, a hunger that pulsed beneath it all. When the darkness cleared, the cab was parked in an alley that looked almost normal, except for the faint glow of the walls and the way the air shimmered like heat rising off pavement. Reza was already out, holding the metallic device, which now pulsed with a steady rhythm. Come on, he said. We don't have much time. Anna stumbled out, her legs shaky. Time for what? To close the breach, he said. You're gonna help me, whether you like it or not. The alley led to a clearing that shouldn't have existed in the middle of Brooklyn, a vast, open space where the ground was cracked and glowing, and the air buzzed with energy. At its center was the vortex, larger now, spitting out tendrils of shadow that writhed like living things. Reza handed her the device. Hold this, don't let go, no matter what. What does it do? She asked, gripping it tightly. It was warm, almost alive, and it hummed in her hands. It's a key, he said. It channels the city's energy. You're gonna focus. Anna, think of New York, not the traffic or the noise, but the feeling, the life, the stories. That's what keeps the underside whole. She wanted to argue, to run, but the device was already glowing brighter, and she felt it, a connection, like a thread tying her to the city. She closed her eyes, and memories flooded in, her first day in New York, the thrill of the skyline, late nights in dive bars, laughing with strangers, the quiet moments on rooftops, feeling like the city was hers. She poured it all into the device, and it blazed with light. The vortex shuddered, shrinking slightly, but the shadows fought back, lashing out with icy tendrils. One grazed Anna's arm, and she screamed, the pain sharp and otherworldly. Reza grabbed her shoulder. Don't stop, you're doing it. She gritted her teeth, focusing harder. The device burned in her hands, but she held on, channeling every ounce of her love for the city, her fear, her hope. The vortex began to collapse, the shadows retreating, until finally, it vanished with a sound like a distant thunderclap. Anna collapsed, gasping. The alley was just an alley again, the strange glow gone. Reza took the device from her, his face grim but satisfied. You did good, kid. What was that? She asked, still shaking. The city needed you, he said simply, and you answered. He drove her home in silence, the cab now just a cab, the radio crackling back to life. When they reached her apartment, Reza turned to her. You're part of it now. The city will call again. Be ready. Anna got out, her mind reeling. As the yellow taxi disappeared into the night, she looked up at the skyline, its lights brighter than ever. For the first time, she felt it watching her back. And she knew Reza was right. This wasn't the end.